And some updates with regards to the twin encounters which are currently underway in South Kashmir's Kulgam. 5 terrorists and 2 army men so far have been unfortunately killed in 2 ongoing anti-terror operations in South Kashmir's Kulgam. We'll bring you more details with regards to these operations currently underway. What do we know about the latest input about 5 terrorists being gunned down, an unfortunate killing of 2 army personnel as well. In a short while from now, as and when we receive more update from our reporters currently there at the location. But right now, the big update with regards to the twin encounters which are currently underway in Kulgam district of South Kashmir is that 5 terrorists so far have been gunned down, and unfortunately 2 army men have also been killed in the crossfire during the encounter. We have CNN News 18's Ishan Wani back with us on the broadcast to bring us more details in this case. Ishan, please walk us through the details of the topography of that particular location where the 2 anti-terror operations are currently going on.
These are villages where inputs were received about presence of militants. It's two different villages in Kulgam district. It was in one of those villages when security force had an input about presence of these militants. They tried to zero in on the location, and while they were zeroing in, there was a burst of fire that was drawn from the side of militants, and which prompted further, retaliation from the security forces. But during that particular initial burst of fire, one army personnel received critical bullet injuries. He was shifted to the army hospital, but later on he's come to the injuries there. But four of them, four of these militants were killed in another encounter which erupted around 2.5 hours later in the same district, where 4 militants have been killed and their bodies have been spotted in a compound of the house where this intense exchange took place. But there also one army personnel lost his life during that burst of fire. So far, the story is that 5 militants have been killed, beg your pardon, and 2 army men have also died in action. In the morning hours today, in the initial exchange of gunfire that took place, there was one militant body which was spotted in one of these encounter spots, taking the number to 5. So yes, 5 militants have been killed so far. 2 army men have been also, have passed away because of the encounter. And what we also know is that the operation is in its final stages, and security forces are searching the area thoroughly. There could be 1 or 2 more militants who could be hiding, and one they are believed to be in that particular residential area where this encounter is taking place. There is due precaution that the forces follow to ensure that that the civilians or any population living nearby does not get harmed, and they were taken out of harm's way. During the night, a tight cordon was laid jointly by the CRPF, Jammu Kashmir Police, and the Indian Army, so that all the escape routes are cut out. This is important given the fact that Amarnath Yatra is going on, and there is already a threat from these outfits to the Yatra. These encounters will also act as a big blow to the Hizbul Mujahideen outfit who have been instrumental there, because sources believe that this could be a group of Hizbul Mujahideen linked to Hizbul Mujahideen, and getting them eliminated well on time in Kulgam is a success for them, given the fact that the Yatra also passes through South Kashmir. Generally, you don't see, 5 or 4 militants being killed at one place. So that means that whether there was either a meeting going on or they were there for a very long time discussing some strategy or a plan. But all these things will be clear once the encounter concludes. So as of now, as we speak, the searches are on at the both spots. There hasn't been gunfire that has been reported, but yes, searches are very much on, and one has to see that if forces are able to recover more bodies.
Right. Ishan, do we have any official word coming in from the higher authorities also to, sort of curbing down such incidents and such tragic episodes happening there in the valley? Because from past couple of days and months, we have noticed a significant rise in such incidents.
There is no doubt that there has been a rise in these incidents, particularly in Jammu region, and forces have been generally taking due precaution while carrying out these operations. So most of the operations have been clean in the sense that the forces haven't had a dent or any injuries or any killings much in Kashmir. They were well coordinated operations, but yesterday seems to be different when 2 army men have been killed, and one of them we are told is from a an elite force of the Indian Army who was killed during the initial exchange of gunfire. Those identities haven't been revealed, given the fact that the further families would be informed, and later on that the media will be informed about their names and the battalions that they were deployed in. Having said that, but there has been a significant rise in Jammu. Because today morning also there are reports of militants opening fire at an army camp, but prompt retaliation from the sentry of that camp led to these militants to flee. But one army personnel has there also sustained injuries. Yes, there is a concern towards the south of Pir Panjal, which is Rajouri, Poonch, Doda, and the parts of Jammu, where now these militants are trying to get a foothold. But yes, the forces are trying to engage and re-synergize so that strategy could be formed to ensure that these jungles and heights where they're hiding, they could be taken back and an intensive operation could be launched. And the significant move in that is that the Northern Army commander, earlier Northern Army commander,
Right.
Upendra Dwivedi has also become the army chief, which will mean that he has a better understanding of the area and he'll be able to also better guide and understand the sort of strategy that the army needs to follow in these areas.
Right, Ushan. Thank you so much for putting all of that into perspective for our viewers. We'll keep coming back to you for more updates on that right now.